Hello. Today I will be answering the questions of the map questions prompt by Lecter. Question 1. What is your age of attraction? This is a weird one for me, because I'm honestly not sure I have one. I don't have frames of reference in my head for what, say, the average 13-year-old or the average 65-year-old looks like. What I do know is that I've found people of all age groups whom I've found attractive, whether they fit stereotypical physical characteristics of those groups or not. Doesn't mean I don't have preferences, but even those tend to shift back and forth by the day. Yes, this includes babies. Yes, this includes elderly. It may even include corpses, but I haven't devoted much thought to it. Question 2. What map identities do you use? Ergo, pedophile, child lover, youth-oriented, etc. Simply using minor attracted person suffices for me. It's a label I use out of convenience, for it encompasses nepiophilia all the way to ephebophilia, although the latter extends a bit beyond the typical age of majority. It's a thought-provoking question, to be sure. I feel as though I haven't had much of a chance to think about what I am until recently. Question 3. How did you discover being a map? I'm not entirely certain. I think one day when I was lurking in the paraphile community, I thought about it and realized that on some occasions when I saw certain children in real life, it caused feelings of attraction in me, even back when I was a child myself. I grappled with this, thinking that it wasn't the children I was attracted to, but the physical characteristics. You know, like telling myself that I just like smooth faces or something, which is true. Then I thought, even if that was the case, a map I am, for I found myself attracted to characteristics exclusive to children, as they usually are. I was running out of excuses to avoid the label, and now here I am. Incidentally, this period of self-discovery very closely mirrored my experiences realizing I was bi and trans. I need to emphasize, finding something attractive does not make someone a danger to them. Else, for example, homosexual women would be a danger to other women. Question 4. Do you like being a map? Yes. I feel neutral about the attraction itself, but I'm happy I have it because it's given me insight as to how our community is treated and misunderstood, deliberately or otherwise. It has helped me see the flaws in the logic of our oppression, and has given me a more personal incentive to fight for the paraphile community. I wouldn't trade my attraction for any other. I feel neutral about them all. Question 5. Are you out to anyone in real life? No. I live in an extremely conservative environment. Few people even know I have LGBT characteristics. One of my closest friends, who is also a map, knows I'm doing activism for this community, but I haven't told them I'm a map myself. Although, if they don't suspect it, I'd be shocked. I undertake my activism knowing full well that aunties may dox me to my conservative environment, at which point I don't know what will happen to me. But I know the risks. I've nothing to lose anymore. Question 6. Does being a map affect your general political or philosophical beliefs? Not directly, I don't think. I was already aligned with the paraphile community before realizing I was a map myself. Question 7. Are you trans age? I don't think so. Then again, I at different points also didn't think I was bi, trans, a map, etc. I do, however, feel as though I haven't properly existed until recently. I wonder if that kind of feeling ever ties into being trans age. Question 8. Are you map for map? I very rarely feel romantic attraction. But I think that at this point one would at the very least need to be radically supportive of the paraphile community in order for me to feel comfortable dating them. If they were a map themselves, that's a good sign. Question 9. Do you have any other non-normative identities, ergo queer or zoo? Do they play a less or more important role in your life than minor attraction? Queer, yes, I am bi and trans, specifically agender. I'm not sure whether or not they have a more important role in my life. It was minor attraction that helped galvanize me into becoming an activist, but it was the former two that had a part in leading me here. If autism counts as a non-normative identity, which I'd say so, then it has by far the most important role in my life. I suspect I may also have ADHD and bipolar, but I lack the confidence to self-diagnose. Question 10. Favorite thing about your preferred age group? They're human. That happens to be my favorite animal. In all seriousness, I don't know how exactly to answer this question. Question 11. Are you crushing on any kid or teen right now? No. Not for lack of interaction, I spend a lot of time around them. I find lots of people attractive, but I very rarely crush on anyone. Such a thing may require me to know them on a deep personal level. Question 12. What's your dream date? I don't know. I'm sorry, I feel as though any answer I give here would be generic. Just someone who shares enough of my values. My dream date doesn't exist, so I don't really feel all that picky. Question 13. Describe your ideal kid or teen. This question disturbs me. Maybe it's the possessive phrasing? I'm not entitled to have any sort of mold in which I deem is the best a kid or teen can be. I don't know, I like that they're becoming more and more radical. I guess my ideal kid or teen is a leftist leader. If this question means my ideal kid or teen to date with or something, then none, I'm anti-contact. With regards to fiction or fantasy? How about a smart, sweet Futanari? Question 14. Do you know any children or teenagers you admire or look up to? Many of them, particularly marginalized ones who survive or fight against their oppression, including those in the parafoul community. Question 15. Do you consider yourself a youth liberationist? This ties in neatly with the last question. Yes, I do. Children are among the most oppressed and exploited people on Earth, and part of the reason I am anti-contact is that I want to combat the means in which adults can exploit them. Question 16. What songs do you associate with being a map? I don't think I'm cultured enough to give a satisfactory answer. The thing is, the answer to me would have to be a song that could be applicable specifically to parafoul struggles. I'd be interested in hearing other people's answers. Question 17. Do you have any map headcanons? Yes, actually. I headcanon Ike and Soth from the Fire Emblem Tellius games as Ephebophiles, though I can't explain why that is without divulging spoilers. There also happens to be a manuscript that's been floating in my computer for 5 years, and in that manuscript there's a little girl who I headcanon as a map. The thing is that I'm the one who wrote the manuscript, and thus I'm the creator of this character. I didn't write her as a map at the time, but in retrospect it seems obvious to me that she is one. Maybe once I redraft, headcanon will become canon. The author ain't dead just yet. Question 18. Do you watch children's cartoons or movies? What are your favorites? I'm not certain why this question is here, but I will answer it anyway. Yes, I do watch children's cartoons. My all-time favorite is Gravity Falls. Others I really like are Avatar, Steven Universe, and Gumball. As for movies, I catch Disney stuff from time to time, but I rarely actively seek it out. Again, I don't know why this question's here, but it feels good to answer. Like, I get to talk about my special interests a little bit. I'm too focused on real life stuff in the pair community these days to really get into any of it. Question 19. Are you a Kodokan? Yes. I have fetishes for lollies, shotas, and non-binary equivalents. This was something I was certain of long before I knew I was a map. I'll make a video one day about whether or not I think lolicons are automatically maps, but the short answer is no. Question 20. What prompted you to join the map community? I was lurking in the pro shipper community for a long time before I came across the concept of paraphiles. I've already learned about some nuances about maps that make them distinct from the awful stereotype we're oft depicted as, so I was able to go down the pipeline. There was also the matter of one of my best friends confessing to me that they were a map, so I had a personal incentive to get involved. What galvanized me into becoming an activist was seeing several instances of young paraphiles attempting suicide, at which point I thought enough was enough. I've since learned that such a thing is far from an isolated incident. Question 21. Do you have any map that you'd look up to as a role model or mentor? I don't think so. There are maps I deeply respect, but I'm not sure if they want me viewing them that way, seeing as how I haven't been active in the community for that long. As I'll discuss in question 23, I've changed enough in that time that those who I used to consider role models or mentors I no longer do, so I'll hold my horses. It's more like a try to learn from everyone, some more than others, but I'm not ready to single people out. Question 22. Favorite map flag or symbol? The Phebophile flag looks really cool, I suppose, and I like the NB Love symbol. If I'm allowed to include groups that happen to have maps, then my favorite is the X-Anti-Pride flag. Red for anger, love, and courage. Orange for confusion, transition, and community. Yellow for happiness, self-love, and acceptance. White for peace, balance, and reassurance. Question 23. How much did you change since you joined the community? I haven't been in it for that long, as I've said, and I've always been anti-contact. But what's changed for me is that I've developed a much more principled and logical anti-contact stance, independently from the visceral emotions that sustained it prior. I'll cover the specifics in a separate video. Question 24. Do you have favorite people here? Do I have to pick favorites? We're marginalized. I'm fearful of hurting anyone's feelings. Well, if I must, then I'll say that my favorite people are the radical leftist anti-contacts. There is a certain highly principled, well-read, diligent, politically minded, outspoken young map named Iris in the community. I pale in comparison to them. They're not my answer to the role model or mentor question because we haven't known each other for long enough for me or them to make that call, and I don't know if they'd feel comfortable about that. But they're definitely one of my favorite people in the community. At any rate, I certainly haven't seen any anti do as much to combat child abuse as they have. Question 25. Would you like to meet anyone from the community in real life if you haven't yet? I'm shy. I think internet communication suffices. Not that I'd mind otherwise, but I don't feel too strongly about it. Question 26. If you could send some message to all maps right now, what would it be? Not sure what I could tell us that we haven't heard already. Just know that many of us are ex-antis, and that there will be more to come. No matter how oppressively hopeless things have gotten for us, we're still here. Question 27. What would you like to change in the map community? the further growth of the radical leftist sentimentality present, which seems to be happening as radical leftist sentimentality usually does. Question 28. What would you change in the world? The fall of the Imperial Corps would be nice. Question 29. Do you miss anyone? I had a friend who died almost 2 years ago as of this writing. I really miss them. Wonder what they think of me now. Question 30. Answer any question you want or share something else. The next video I have planned is going to be a massive project, so I can't guarantee it will come into fruition. Until then, I'm grateful to Lecter for these questions. And I'm thankful to the community for being there for me. Thank you for watching.